Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm starting back up on Boz Cigar Reviews, and I just redid the YouTube page, but in order to keep all my prior videos, it was under that damn guy rants. So if you still want to check it out, until YouTube kind of switches it over back over to Boz Cigar Reviews, check out that damn guy rants. You can just punch that in on Google search or whatever search, and you'll see it, punch on it, and it'll come up to Boss Cigar Reviews is back. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm not going to rant. I may suggest or otherwise, give information that I think may or may not be important in, in everyday life and stuff like that. But definitely toning it down. And I just want to get back to what we all like, and that's the cigar. And a few life lessons along the way. Come here, Duke. Let me pause this. We're going house. I don't edit these, as you all know. Life happens. Uh, Duke was out here, my German Shepherd. Uh, had to put Nisha down a few months ago. That was a rough one. Man, that was a rough one. But Duke, he's about 2 years old. He's a good old dog. But we got a bunch of property on the river here, right there. And he thinks it's all his, so anybody that drives by, he's just got to be on guard. So anyway, back to cigars. Uh, I'm going to be reviewing cigars that I have not reviewed. I may have smoked some in the past, but I haven't reviewed them. Beautiful right here, right? Got deer down there, all kinds of cool stuff. Um, this is the Victor St. Clair. A lot of people like them, a lot of people don't. Uh, I like some of the Victor St. Clairs, and I don't like some of the Victor St. Clairs. They're made by Jose Dominguez, and they're a Dominican Puro, basically. This is a Brazilian Maduro wrapper. Uh, as you can notice, there's some white spots. Let me see if I can get this zoomed in on this. See that white spot right there? There's a couple right there. They're just little splotches here and there. Uh, Normally and usually, that comes from when the leaves are drying or growing, mainly drying. There may have got some water on there, or as they're getting ready to be picked, the water sat on there and the sun baked it. That's what water droplets do. That sun that magnifies it and just creates those little white spots. Um, I'm going to call this, as my stuff goes, the 3R. There we go. Look at that. Boop. The 3Rs. I call it rugged, rustic, and rough, and they're all three different meaning things. Uh, it's not toothy at all. There's not any. It's not like a glistening. It's a bit oily looking. There's a lot of veins, and it appears to be made fairly well. Let's see if there's any soft spots. Some lower price point cigars, there's definitely soft spots. And this one, from about here up, is really tight. It's like a rock, so we'll see how that goes. I've got my own way of kind of trying to soften those suckers up. But there's no splits, there's no tears. Uh, as you can see, see how that it's rolled really nicely. It's got just a nice, appears to maybe be a double cap. Okay, just some advice. I've seen some people that started doing cigar reviews, and hey, I was there about 5 years ago. Totally get it. We all kind of, tend to kind of goof up a little bit. On a straight cut, on the lower price point cigars, I normally do a straight cut because a lot of them are short fill. And if you do a V cut on those, you can really have a problem. especially with a deep V cut. I've got a deep V cut here, but I'll probably use it on this. But even if I don't want to do a deep V cut and I try to just kind of place it over there just right, it usually comes off all cattywamped out there, and it's just a mess. And I've seen some people that, and you know who they are, and maybe you've done it. We've all done it a couple of times. I know I have. They put that sucker in there up to about there, and they cut it. They're going, "Wow, I don't know what's wrong. Hey, boss, how come this thing's falling apart? I'm getting, tobacco in my teeth and everything else." So, you're supposed to just barely remove that cap. Just barely remove the cap. That keeps everything in line. You won't have that problem. So, actually, I'm going to do this, and then I'll see how the draw is. If it's still really tight, I'll probably V-cut it after that. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know. I just barely put that thing in there. I just barely. See that? I'll show you. Hello. That's what I cut off right there. That's it. And there you go. There's that, which has just probably a little bit of the wrapper, the binder under it. The wrapper's right there, that Brazilian Maduro. And the rest of them are Dominicans, and they're long fill. And that's what you want right there. Don't go below the cap. You can if you want. You can do whatever you want. It's your cigar. You want to cut it at the top of the band, hey, by all means. Just leave the band on there. You're going to be having a major issue. Just barely cut it. Just like that. A little bit of a tight draw. But like I said, we'll work on that. Let's see what the cold draw is on this. It's nice. It's got a little bit of a chocolate note. It's got a little bit of pepper. You know how that pepper hits you right in the gullet sometimes? It's got a little bit of that. So I'm expecting, and it's not always, but that always kind of, gets me to assume, never do that, that it may be a little bit of a peppery on the fire up. I actually like a cigar. This is a Churchill 60. It's about as large as I'll smoke. The other ones, it just takes too long, and to me, they kind of gum up with crap. But anyway, whatever I was saying, it's a Churchill 60 gauge. Nice band. Victor Sinclair, which from what I understand, there was an Admiral Victor Sinclair that way back in the 1800s, something like that. He's on a ship. He went to the Dominican or whatever it was then, and he made his own cigars. He was bringing them back. The ship sank. Way later, his great nephew, he took off and went back there, seagoing man, and found kind of the remains of the little factory his great uncle kind of had. Found a glass jar of his original sticks. So he took those back. This is how the story goes, and he started the Victor Sinclair brand. Now, like I said, Jose Dominguez owns Victor Sinclair and several other brands, and he also, just like Placentius Tobacco, makes naked cigars, no bands, for a plethora of cigar branders or people that want to put their brand on it. So, that's one of those guys you can go to and say, hey, I want to start Boz Cigars. This is what I want. And he'll mix some blends, stuff like that. And I got some hard-learned lessons on that about if you want to start your own cigar brand or your own label or band, how not to do it. Not under any circumstances ever do it. I'm gonna kind of let you in on that, okay? I've been asked to be partners on 3 different cigars to start up, and I have a page of questions, you know, because I have somebody willing to invest in me personally, and they are a renowned business person, and they got those same questions. And if you can't answer them questions, there's something hinky going on. So we'll get into that. So hey, I'm gonna give this a toasting. When I got my Boz glass, can't see it because it's got condensation on it. That's from Cigar Cave in Medford, Oregon. Medford and Grants Pass, Oregon. Get down there. One's on I think it's Poplar, and the other one's on G and 7th, I believe. Amazing people every Friday night over there in Medford. They got to sit and smoke. Cool place. The owners are amazing. Good people. Okay, so let's toast this thing up. Got me a little Vertigo. It's a little 3 torture in there. Take your time torching these things or toasting them. You don't want to overdo it. I just kind of go around slowly till I get this kind of like this even black ring all the way around. Just keep an eye on it. Don't get in a panic, Don't get in a panic. Don't shove it right up in there. It's a cigar. You don't want to burn it up there. Don't let the flame hit it, because then that's going to split. I usually do it till I see all red around there, but really don't have the time to do that. So let's fire it up. Then I look at it, see where it's kind of not burned right in there. I got OCBD, obsessive cigar burning disorder, and you can see actually right there. See, it's burning there and not there. So I correct it. Normally I toast it longer. I'll toast it for 30 seconds, but I don't want to take up your time. You're going to do the Boz pepper scale test. Something I created after several thousand cigars. When you don't toast it properly, that's what can happen right there. See how that's starting to canoe a little bit? I hate that, because most of the time, if you don't correct it, it just continues. Instead of taking the torch to it, I've got this whiskey. I'll just take a drop right there, put it on there, and that usually corrects it. Normally I get less smoke after doing that, because that was only burning in that one spot. So notice how there wasn't as much smoke, but it'll correct. Maybe not. Kind of tells you something, that you didn't take your time when you're toasting it. Wind factor. Sometimes, you got a breeze and you go to toast and a flame shooting out this way, it'll just light that part of the cigar. I always get my back to the wind so my flame just shoots kind of straight up, and so I can get it lit evenly. But again, I don't want to take up all your time. I forget I have a pause button. That's not even a 1 on the pepper scale. 1 to 5. 5 being is like getting hit with mace. All of us that have been in law enforcement. I was in law enforcement and in the military for a while, stuff like that. We've all been maced and all that other crap. You get it. That's a 5 or a 5 plus. A 1 is kind of, 0 is when you're breathing. So this had very little pepper. So far that ash is really nice and white. You know, it's got a kind of a different note to it. I can't really place it. Kind of a crackerish, maybe graham cracker. Not the cinnamon, you know, sugary cinnamon one. Just regular graham cracker. And I actually did that because I hear, oh, it's got a graham cracker. I said, I don't, come on, graham cracker. So I got some graham crackers and, you know, dip them in milk. And you know, I tried it and I smelled them and I tasted it, even kind of, you know, chew some up and retrohale a little bit. Boom, graham cracker. Very nice. Very little pepper, like I said, maybe a 1. There's not much there right now. You know, there's not. It's got some good smoke going on it. Uh, I'll assume this is a Maduro. It's there's not a lot out there, but there are some manufacturers that dye their uh, their tobacco to make it Maduro. Like if it didn't dye dark or you know dry dark enough or something like that, they'll put a dye on there. And I've been able to normally just see it because the way that it sits on the veins and stuff like that. Um, this does not appear to be dyed to me. You know, there's no difference as far as plus those little white spots. See that right there? If it was dyed or wiped over, those would be covered. I like Maduros. I like bolder cigars. This is very mellow so far, but we're just into it the first half inch. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to kind of see how it goes a little bit, and I'll be back to you. So I'm just starting back up on the Boss Cigar Reviews. Hope you appreciate them. If you got any you want reviewed, let me know. If you have some cigars, I've been able to do reviews in the past on pre-release cigars, which I really appreciate. You know, Arizona Del Tobacco. You know, and geez, Art Garcia's brand, which I can't think of it. Esteli. I'm sorry, Art. I can't remember it. You know, they got some issues going. But you know, let me know if you. I'll even buy them off of you. You know, you don't need to send me a bunch of sticks. If you do, I'll do special reviews for you. Beautiful setting. You know, I'll get into the history of it and stuff like that. You know, get the word out because I'm going to hit this again heavy. I'm going to get it heavy back into Cigar Reviews. My health is great. My cancer's, you know, I had that taken care of. So far, everything's good. My heart issues, you know, okay. My lupus, you know, yeah, I know I got the friggin' trifecta. So I'll let you know how this is going. I'll quit boring you, and we'll get back in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Been reflectinating. Okay, here's the ash now. It's burning pretty good. You can see kind of where I corrected it with that drop of whiskey. See, that's pretty even. But you start to turn it, right there is where I had that problem. And this is really starting to flake really bad. It's not the cigar. That's operator error. See, it's really, really. What I do is I kind of burn them off. I found that that tends to keep them from running. Man. Or if the band is loose enough, you can spin it in the same rotation as the wrapper goes. and you can cover it. But this wasn't the cigar. This was me. See, I've got it right to the binder. That's my bad, and I'll tell you why. The same reason as when I was toasting it, I got in a hurry because I didn't want to bore you guys. It's been a while since I've done a review, and I usually pre-toast them. Secret. And also, normally, I acclimate them to my environment. These have been in the box. They've been in the humidor. I call it cooking in a box. Normally, this is what I normally do. I set it out. I open up the cello wrap. I set it out, and I let it acclimate. That way, in a more controlled environment, it gets used to the moisture in the air, the dryness in the air, the sun, the breeze, anything like that that's going to affect the burn and mainly affect the wrapper. I did not do that. I took it right out of the cello right here and toasted it and fired it up. That's my screw up. It's not the cigar. Whenever I don't follow my own advice or get in a hurry, this happens. Not the cigar. It's not Victor Sinclair. It's not a Jose Dominguez problem. It's my problem, Brian Boss. So if this happens to you, damn near 100% of the time, it's something you did. So anyway, back to the ash. And I purge cigars also, but there's that ash, which I don't have my ashtray. What you normally want to do, again, a lot of normalies today, is just kind of roll that right on the edge. I'm just going to roll it on the edge of my table right here. Right, roll it along the edge. It starts to knock that ash off. And there you go. See a little point. See how this bird should still burn fine. It's just, my screw up. I apologize. The wrapper is my bad. This has stayed really even keeled. There hasn't been hardly any change ups, which, I like my change ups. That's purging a cigar. If I forget to purge a cigar, you'll get it in the smoke flavor. I try to purge often. You blow the smoke out before it starts to cool and gum up. Number one, it'll tighten up a cigar. Your draw will really tighten up. This has actually loosened up. The heat has loosened it up from the initial cold draw. But sometimes, if you don't purge it, that'll happen. It'll start to really plug up. You just got to still keep cutting the end or kind of massaging the cigar to loosen it up. Don't do those things. Don't do what I have done this review. It's about a half on the Boz pepper scale. About a half. We'll see how this goes. I'll pause this again and see if I get any real change-ups. There's a little bit of a mineral taste. It's still a little bit of the chocolate taste. I haven't really picked up, I understand there's people that smoke cigars and I myself have noticed in some cigars, a dried fruit taste, or raisin, or what I taste is like a dried apricot, because I like dried apricot. So when I smoke a cigar that kind of clicks in there, that's what it tastes like to me. It may taste like dried, cherries to you or whatever. But to me, this doesn't really have a woody taste yet. A woody taste normally, or barny taste, I'll be able to get on the roof of my mouth, and it just, I could feel it, and I kind of taste it or smell it. The retrohale on this there's almost nothing, not just pepper, but any really notes or anything like that. So I'll give this a pause and see how it continues to burn. Other than my mistake on the wrapper, it's burning really well. So I'll see you in a few. Yeah, I'm almost out of here. Okay, I'm back. Uh, Remember how I mentioned that sometimes I'll take the band and kind of I'll turn it along with the rotation that the wrapper is put on to kind of cover up some splits. I was actually able to do that. The glue loosened up a little bit on the wrapper on the cigar band. I was able to spin it. So what I did is you can see where that had really split. And again, that's not the cigar, that's on me because it was really split bad in those areas. So I turned the cigar in rotation with the way the wrapper's put on, and I lowered it down. That keeps that from splitting. And then I will back the wrapper off. As I get close to the wrapper, or to the band, which I am, I will slowly go the opposite way in rotation with the wrapper towards the end, not the foot, but the other end. Then it seems to usually take care of that. A lot of usuallys, sometimes, and assumes. I'm getting a lot more smoke off of it. It's changed up a little bit. There's no pepper now. Sometimes if there's a lot of pepper, I have most cigars I have a lot of pepper to begin with, and I like that. It kind of wakes you up going, okay, I'm smoking a cigar. And then it kind of evens out, nice smoking, the sweet spot, second, third. Third normally starts picking up a little bit of pepper, but that's also sometimes created uh, because the last of the cigar is starting to get kind of plugged up with stuff, a couple of things. So I'm going to knock this ash off, and I'm just going to roll it. Sorry, can't see this. I don't know how it's going to end up either. Right there. A well-burning cigar will have a point. That's a little bit longer of a point than normal for me, because I did smoke it faster to try to get rid of that split wrapper, which was my fault. And that's why the length of that cone is a little longer, because the outside has been burning quicker than the inside. It kind of rolled to burn fairly even. You'll always have a little bit of a cone. There are some cigars that I have that are a lower price point, like low price point, and they usually kind of have the at times. I'm gonna start saying at times have the convex burn in a little bit. But again, this is not what I would say a super change up cigar. You know, at this point, I'm just into the second, third. Very, very mild. I like a bolder cigar. Uh, this Victor Sinclair Vintage Select, which is an aged wrapper, an aged Brazilian Maduro wrapper, and all Dominican fillers, is very mild. I personally like a bolder cigar. I like a lot of change ups. I like an experience. You know, if you look at the same wall every day and it's the same color, it just kind of gets boring. The first few days, maybe you say, oh, you know, it's the same color, but hey, there's some cracks in the wall. Keeps your attention a little bit. After a while, it's like, Jesus, man, this is the same damn wall. This is the same flavor. I'll give it one crooked thumbs up, and that's because you know, I like the flavor. It's very mild. If you're, this is my opinion, if you want to start off with, even, you know, you go, well, hey, boss, you know, that's a Maduro. It's a Dominican, which in my experience tends to burn a little more peppery and kind of change up. Don't worry about it. This is a very mild, flavorful, kind of sweet. It's not sugary sweet. It's just got that chocolatey thing going. Not a cacao, which is a bitter dark chocolate, which I love. This is a nice kind of a milk chocolatey. It's not milk chocolatey, but it's got that. You guys know. And guys, it's men, women. You know, there we go. There is that. I'm gonna let this burn a bit. Get back to you. I didn't plan on going more than about 20 minutes, but after this break, I'm going to get into some advice and that I've learned if you want to get into the cigar manufacturing business or put your own label out there. I'll be back. Getting back real quick, Art, got it down. It's Art Garcia. He's president of Segovia de Esteli Cigars. Amazing cigars. Amazing cigars. Hello, brother. It's good to see you. I started bringing this label down, and you can see it's starting to burn a lot better because it's holding that cracked wrapper together. I dipped it a little bit. We'll get into that in another review. Okay, if you're gonna get into the cigar business, if you got 25 grand or 50 grand to put in, you want to create your own label, you better do the following. If you're going to do it on your own, you better have a couple $100 grand. You're not going to do it for 25, 50 grand because you got to go where your manufacturing process is. You got to go visit the growers. You got to go visit the warehouses. You got to go visit. You got to talk and meet with your rollers. You got to go to where the action is. You got to go see the crops. You got to see if they're rotating the crops. If they are rotating the crops and adding nutrients, if they're letting the dirt sit and get nice and nutritious and add the nutrients and get that really dark earthy smell. If they're just rotating those crops really quick and they're not adding things, you're not going to get a good tobacco. You better know every stinking thing. Don't just say, hey, I got some money, I know somebody and he says he knows cigars, and then give people money. You better have a list, at least one-page list of questions that you better get the damn answers to. Where's it being grown? I want to go there. Tell me where it's being grown. Tell me if the crops are getting rotated correctly, if they're getting nutrients added, if they're just burning through crops, you're not going to get good tobacco. You're going to want to tell people, I want to go there. I want to see every stinking field that this tobacco comes from. I want to see how it's being cured. I want to meet the rollers. I want to meet the managers of the factory. And that's just the beginning. If you don't do that, you got no reason to be in this business. It's like any other business. You're not going to say, hey, I'm going to open up, like me, I had a couple of bars. I did my research. That's why they were successful. You know, you don't just open up a bar. You don't, somebody doesn't come to you, say, you got 50 grand, I'm going to open up a bar. And you go, oh, sure, here's the money. That's stupid. Don't be stupid. Somebody says, hey, you got some money, I want to do this. Let's create our own label. Don't just be this person. Say, hey, hey, I got some money and I don't know, I've been smoking cigars for, about a year. I don't know anything about them. Here's my money. Don't be stupid because you're going to fail. If they tell you, hey, I know how this works and you're going to make $1 million. No, you're not. Stay away. I know people that have asked me to be, involved, and they say, you got to come up with this much. And I say, well, what's your business plan? They give me their business plan. They're telling me where it's growing, who's growing it, how the crops are done, how the nutrients you put in there, who the people are. If they can't answer every single question on there, keep moving because you're going to lose your money. Period. Every time. Every time you're going to lose your money. If you are not 200% involved, 100% involved is fully involved. If you're not 200% involved, don't do it. If you're leaving it all up to somebody else and people are giving these people their money, and they're saying, well, just trust me. You better turn and run. Run, because you're gonna get screwed. Period. Period. Don't be putting out $40 cigars, especially if you're new to this. You have no clue what a $40 cigar is. I've been given cigars that run $100, $200 and up that sucked because the people didn't know. Who's going to buy that? You want to have a cigar, you come out with an $8, $10, $12 stick. That's what successful cigar manufacturers do. Well, yeah, but if I sell one box at $800 or $1,000, you're not going to do that. You might do it once or twice. The only person making the money on that is a person that took your damn money. Don't be stupid. Have a list, check it twice, and if they can't answer it, don't do it. And even if you do it, have your own bookkeeper, have your own people. You go and make the trips necessary. Period. It's been a long review, but I'll tell you, I've been in touch with people that have done it the wrong way, and they don't get it. They don't understand how, it's not working. Did you have a list? Did the person that you gave money to have a business plan that they could show you step by step by step, documented how they're doing it? Did they take you to these places? You might have to buy your own ticket, but have the money. If you got 50 grand to invest, you better have another 50 grand minimum to do the other stuff. Due diligence. Don't do stupid, do your diligence, or you're going to lose your money. That's it for today. Thanks to Victor Sinclair, Jose Dominguez. Good stick. Cook a thumbs up. That's like a $250 price point. It's a nice, even-keeled, mellow cigar. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. I'm going to be hard and hot and heavy. Oh, you heard it right. Back on my cigar reviews. Got something you want done? Get in touch with me. And yeah, as you know, I'm the hell out of here now.